We are experiencing audio difficulty. Please stand by.
Minutes to go, isn't it?
It seems like it. Let's see, there'll be a penalty, and actually the Detroit team will get the ball at the kicking point. Somebody else hurt? Steve Bach, the big young man from Oregon that blocked so well there a couple of times on defense. Other scores as we
are experiencing audio difficulty. Please stand by. Difficulty. Please stand by.
Big play.
Leonard Thompson.
They bluffed the blitz. See the two guys for the touchdown.
We are experiencing audio difficulty. Please stand by.
Probably a good job. I guess what you could say here is that Wilson did a good job of changing the cadence and got Ruline to jump off sides, and there it is.
Our official today, our referee, is Bob McElwee, and we'll have him confirm what Terry Bradshaw has just told you, and that should make it a 2nd down and 1.
You know, there's a lot of pressure today. Here we go, right here.
Offside, number 75, defense, still 2nd down.
There's a lot of pressure today on a guy that's playing quarterback for the Saints in Wilson. He was 2 for 22. That's historic right there in New Orleans area. A lot of pressure on this young man, but talking to everyone, they believe in him. And the question is, how much does he believe in himself today? We're going to find out. Last week,
Missed his last 18 in a row. Told us yesterday he was shell-shocked.
I guess he was.
Absolute shell-shock.
I would have been.
Said the crowd was cheering every incompletion in New Orleans, cheering every Kansas City touchdown, and there were a bunch of them. Here's Gaijon, first down. Out to the 31-yard line. Hokie Gaijon, fresh from his best year as a pro.
What's going to be interesting today with Edelman and Clark back working with Court, the timing is not going to be as sharp as if they've been together for the entire training camp, Vern. And the day, as the game goes on, it'll be interesting to see if they tire. And this time we'll keep an eye on to see if the backs start losing yardage instead of gaining.
Brad Edelman and Kelvin Clark did not play last week. They are not 100%, but they talked Bum Phillips into starting them today. First down 10. Saints trail 7-0. 8:15 to go, first quarter. May have been a delay of game call. Flags are down. Jim Ryan made the tackle, number 50. Nope, motion call. Louis Wright. Stan Brock and the rest of the offensive line looking over the bench.
Offensive left tackle. Penalties decline. Second down.
Now Tony Lilly comes in defensively, and Carl Mecklenburg is also in for Denver as they change on second and long. Mecklenburg, number 77, has been a real force for them. It's going to be tough keeping him out of the starting lineup.
They don't know where to play him. He's either a lineman in this prevent package or he's a linebacker during the first and second down. They also brought in 61 Townsend at an end, so they bring in a whole new package for their nickel series.
Second down, 9. Saints trail 7-0 with 7:52 to go in the first quarter of play. Oops.
Number 63, offense.
Yeah,
that's Edelman, and you say, well, gee, the guy hasn't played all year. He's supposed to jump off sides, and so naturally, that's only a natural thing to do. Is haven't played in a while. The snap count's not the way you've been hearing it from the sidelines when you hadn't played, so they do it the way it's supposed to be done, and he jumps off sides.
Second down, 14. 65-yard touchdown toss Elway to Butch Johnson. Final score, Houston gave Washington a tussle, but the Redskins win. Chicago over New England. Here's Wilson.
Oh,
tight end Hobie Brenner. Another flag is down. If the play stands, it's a first down. Steve Foley made the tackle, number 43.
Hey, the thing I'm seeing early here is that the offensive line of the Saints is they're giving Wilson time.
Number 31 defense.
Mike Harden. They got Mike Harden number 31 for holding, but they're giving the line of the Saints are given
holding 31 defense. Penalties decline. First down.
Doesn't that guy know he's interrupting what I'm trying to say? But they're giving him time to throw the football, and he's standing in there. And I'll tell you, I'm real impressed that he's not rattled. He seems to have a lot of confidence, and that's not that is unusual after you come off a 2 for 22 performance.
Did you ever have one of those?
I'm afraid I did. I know it's hard to believe, isn't it? But I really did.
It is, yes. First and 10 at the 50. Saints trail. Eugene Goodlow comes back this way. Campbell up the middle. That's good for a gain of about 7.
That's that Bum Phillips football. Boy, that's a power eye. The Gaijon leads up in there. Court sits in the center. And then you got Edelman and you got Clark, and everybody just forms a wedge on first down. And look at this. They get 6-7 yards. Now, this is Phillips kind of football.
Is he under the gun?
He's 61 years old. He doesn't have to be under the gun.
Miami defeats Indianapolis, as expected, and the Rams defeat Philadelphia, as expected. Eagles are 0-2. Second down, 3 from the 43. Wilson. Pitch out. Gaijon gets a good block, but a fine play by Steve Busick on Earl Campbell. Busick, the 5-year man out of Southern California, comes up and pops Campbell around the shoulder pads.
Busick's one of these guys that the coaches, Joe Collier, saying, we've got Mecklenburg 77 who plays in his spot, and we really quite honestly don't know what to do with Dennison and Busick, and with Mecklenburg we've got to get him in there, and I guess as long as the guy makes plays like that, it really doesn't matter, does it?
He replaced a legend in this town, Randy Gradishar, who received a standing ovation when he was introduced here before the game. Double tight end set on 3rd and 1. Gaijon, I don't know. And if he did not get it, it's Steve Busick who made the tackle. Wilson says they're a foot short. They trail by 7 with 5:48 to go in the first quarter. Tom says he's going for it.
Well, they bring Wilson in, number 30, so it'll be interesting to see.
Why take Campbell out and bring Wilson in?
Well, it tells you two things, that they're probably bringing a play action or that they're going to use guys down the block and run Wilson. We'll just have to wait and see.
But on 4th and 1, Earl Campbell is on the bench. With Denver taking over, Earl Campbell will stay on the bench. Wayne Wilson didn't get it.
Hey, you know, you have to question, why would you take one of the NFL's greatest running backs out of the football game? I don't have that answer. That's something they'll have to give us.
5:23 to go, first quarter. Denver leads 7-0. They've got the ball.
The essence of bobsledding. The new sled feels like gliding on silk. The essence of shaving. This is new Atra Plus, an incredible advance in Gillette shaving smoothness. The Plus is the unique lubricating strip that glides the razor effortlessly. You never felt anything smoother. New Atra Plus by Gillette. The essence of shaving.
Call any Air Express company and ask if they'll guarantee to give the exact status of your package within 30 minutes or your money back.
Yeah, well, the thing is...
Call someone else and ask if they'll guarantee to deliver your package on time or your money back.
Well, gee,
Then call Federal Express and ask us the same question.
3 to go, first quarter. Denver holds. They've got the ball in the 7-0 lead, and Winder's got the football for a gain of 3. Bruce Clark, number 75, makes the tackle for the New Orleans Saints. Let's look at that 4th down play with Earl Campbell on the sidelines just a moment ago.
Vern, the only thing I can figure out here is they take Campbell out and they're going to give the ball to the tailback Wilson, that guy John Lee. Is that Wilson he's a leaper. Here's your leap. Earl can't jump. Maybe that's it. I don't know. It seems like if you're like 8-10 inches, you give it to the guy that's going to the Hall of Fame.
I'll bet Earl Campbell can move the pile backwards, though.
I bet he'd sure try, wouldn't he?
2nd down, 6. Denver leads 7-0. Puts Johnson in motion. Elway with a quick screen. Overthrows Johnson.
Oh, Ricky Jackson, outstanding job that time. Outside linebacker 57. Boy, he read that screen. Came off the tackle, went out and got in front of Elway's face. And an important thing here, Vern, Elway saw it, and a couple of years ago, he would probably force it in there. He throws it out of bounds.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 6.
I always loved that pass, that screen, because what you do is you key the linebacker. And when the quarterback drops, if the linebacker comes up, you throw the hook. If he drops back, you throw the screen. That time he had the hook, but he elected to throw it out of bounds.
From the shotgun, 3rd and 6, 4:43 to go, first quarter. Denver leads 7-0 on a 65-yard toss to Butch Johnson. Quarterback draw. Comes up short. Broncos will have to punt. Now, is that design?
Well, it looked designed. If it's not designed, what you have here is a classic case of John Knott standing in the pocket and letting the pass routes develop. Now, if that's the case, then we're right back what we said earlier in the show. Otherwise, if that's a design play, he sees Hogue coming up 24 to make the tackle. And like the smart young man he is, he hits the ground.
Danny Reeves on the sideline, now in his 5th year. We'll talk it over with John Elway as Chris Norman comes on to punt for the first time. A lot of controversy here in preseason. Some folks were shocked that Norman was kept and Don Bracken was cut. Eric Martin, the rookie from LSU, will return. Norman started last week with a 29-yard kick, but then came on to average 41.4 for the game. And that is a good kick. No controversy there. It will, however, come out to the 20, and New Orleans will get it back to 3:49 remaining in the first quarter of play. Coming up next Saturday, college football. Georgia Bulldogs down in Death Valley against the Clemson Tigers, live at 3:30 Eastern Time. Georgia won yesterday. So did Clemson on the last play of the game. I did a game between those two teams in Death Valley. And
it's Clemson. Clemson.
Oh, yeah, there's a P in there, isn't
That's
there?
Right, Clemson.
Now, Charlie Waters kept trying to convince me that that was not the case. And then he'd say Clemson. Death Valley, what a marvelous place to watch a college football game. First down, 10, New Orleans, 3:49 to go in the first quarter. Here's Campbell. good for more than one. Steve Foley and Louis Wright make the tackle. Louis Wright is not at 100% today. Foley, a miracle. Dan Reeves said that he's not out for the season.
Yeah, he could have. The way it happened in the Los Angeles Ram game, he got his leg turned all the way back under him. And Dan, quite honestly, said, hey, you know, we're down to 4 defensive backs, and I'm looking at Jim Ryan going in playing in the defensive backfield. But he said Foley's all right. He's back in there playing and playing well.
Came up with 2 interceptions last week. 2nd down and 8 from the 22. 3:12 to go first quarter. Dijon slips a tackle. And that'll be a first down for New Orleans. He had a 6-yard per carry average last year and was a real game breaker for the Saints. That's a gain of 12. We'll look for the end zone.
The thing that New Orleans is doing, they're coming out in 2 tight end sets, 2 wide receivers. They pull the guard and a tackle. Look at, you see Clark 68, Brock 67 is out front, and then Dijon comes back inside of their trap blocks, leading outside, and picks up the first down. Wilson 45 and Harden 31 making the tackle.
1st and 10. Wilson is 1 out of 2 for 23 yards. That's half his completion number last week, and he'll throw again. Triple coverage. Boy, he tried to loft that into zone coverage at the 50-yard line. Intended for Hobie Brenner, and Wilson was under some pressure back in the backfield.
Now, this is a good scheme with 2 tight ends, Vern. They come out one time and they give back on a draw to Dijon. They come out this time with a play action. But the thing you see Dave going off the field, maybe hurt a little bit, is the fact they play zone, and he had to lay it over one guy to get it in the hole. Well, when you do that, when you hang that football up, you get free safeties like Foley, who read quarterback size. They can explode on the football and make the play, and that's what he did.
2:28 to go first quarter. 7-0 Denver. 2nd down, 10 New Orleans. Tony Lilly comes in, replacing Steve Foley defensively for the Broncos. Dave Wilson, 7-step drop into the flat. It goes for Dijon. Jim Ryan goes low, and Louis Wright goes high, and they make the tackle far short of the first down.
About the 37-yard line.
Now, you talk about east-west offense. Let me explain that to you a little bit. A lot of people in Denver are saying east-west offense. Probably the same thing in New Orleans. Why do they keep throwing in the flat? Well, they were trying to get the football downfield, but the guys were covered, and their linebackers were dropping deep. The quarterback always has an outlet. That time he fires in the flat. Dijon gets 4 or 5 yards out of it.
Wayne Wilson comes in. So does Jeff Groh. 3 wide receiver set now on 3rd down and 7 from the 37-yard line. Denver's got a 4-man line. Here comes Mecklenburg. And there's a flag down. 12th round draft choice from Minnesota. He has become a terror in the Rockies. That should be a holding call against the Saints, which will be declined.
Number 67.
It was on the opposite side from where the rush came. It was on Stan Brock. And it'll be declined. 4th down, and Brian Hansen comes on to punt.
Joe Collier, defensive coach coordinator for the Broncos, he said, you know, if we start Mecklenburg at end, we're hurting ourselves at linebacker then, because we can do so many different things with him at linebacker and end. So we've got a dilemma. We just mix him around.
Here comes the 2nd-year punter from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Brian Hansen. Pro Bowl in his rookie year. Beauty. An example of why. Gerald Wilhite waits for it at the 21. And is tackled from behind at the 33 by Terry Hogue. 51-yard punt, 11 on the return. The hang time, a rather impressive 4.5. 1:22 to go, first quarter.
American Airlines won
7-0 with 1:22 to go in the first quarter. Vern Lundquist and Terry Bradshaw here from the Mile High City. James Wright will set up on the left side, and Steve Watson comes wide right. He hasn't caught a pass yet. Caught 7 last week. Motion.
Stuttered number 7 to the left tackle. You know, it's funny how these guys keep jumping off sides.
Number 70, offense.
When I played for Pittsburgh, you know, I never went on anything but one. And everybody said, why? I said, because if we ever went off anything but one, everybody jumped off sides, no matter what. Big game, little game, practice, they always jump. So I always went on one.
Is that an indictment of the collective intelligence of your offensive line?
No, my coach.
It'll be first down and 15. 1:22 to go.
Pass the buck, huh?
Yeah, I like the way you dodged that one. John Elway looks over the New Orleans defense, have a couple of fresh faces in the defensive line.
Safety blitz, Gary.
Watson has his first catch of the day, and nimble puts it out of bounds up near the 32-yard line. 7 catches last week.
You know, the thing about safety blitzes, and I like the things that the Saints are doing. They're mixing up their defenses, shooting their linebackers, zones, and mans. But if you're going to run a safety blitz and you run it from 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, it's useless. Russell Gary from that far off, there's no way that he's going to get to Elway. John Elway actually looked to the left and came back and hit Watson on the right. That's how far away Russell Gary was blitzing that time.
That brings up a 2nd down and 9. Elway with 1 touchdown and 1 pass interception so far. That was returned 52 yards by Kovac, but a field goal fell to the left side. Elway back to the throw again. Deep left side. Steve Watson comes back. Looks like Boletnikoff with that old hook pattern for the Oakland Raiders.
I'll tell you what, if you don't think this guy can hum it, that was all the way across the field, 30-yard shot on the sideline, hardest pass to throw in the National Football League. It's for a quarterback to throw a sideline pattern all the way across the field and then complete it.
Watson with catches in excess of 1,000 yards.
Watch, we're going to see again. He's on an outstanding cornerback, and Johnny Poe. Johnny shakes him. Now look, he turns back inside to see where the ball is. He comes inside. Watson goes outside, stays on the sideline, makes a nice grab. Did a good job of keeping his feet in.
3rd and 2. Watson comes near side. Right lines up to the left. Sammy Winder spins and might have gotten with that second move. Russell Gary made the tackle, but it may be too late. See if Bob McElwee wants to give it a measurement. Winder, and they will bring the chains out. Winder and Watson both had 1,000 yards last year. Sammy Winder with 1,000 yards from the backfield spot, and Steve Watson from that wide receiver position. And they are one of the few teams in the league that had.
Well, there's no secret who's going to run the football with the H-back system. I mean, that's eliminated. And it's interesting in that H-back system how everyone differs in how to use the back. You know, we have Riggins, big 240-pound guy in Washington, and here we have a 200-pound scat back with power enough to go inside, but speed enough to go outside. So they mix them and use them differently, but they still have the same kind of system called the H-back system. You understand that?
Sure. Yeah, and we'll continue the discourse after the game. Final 40 seconds of the first quarter. Denver leads with a 1st down and 10. They have a 7-0 margin of difference so far. Play fake. Comes Ricky Jackson. Elway gets rid of it. He's got tight end James Wright for a 1st down at the 27. Johnny Poe, Frank Wadlett had to get back there in a hurry to make the tackle.
That's the old cover 2 zone, Vern, that they were in last week, and Kansas City just chewed them up. What happens is they took the wide receiver that time and ran him deep on the outside, then brought Wright from the H-back and brought him up inside and brought him out into the flat, and there was no one there.
That is a gain of 30 yards as the clock winds down to end the first quarter of play. The Denver Broncos are threatening again, and they already own a 7-0 lead. The 110th consecutive sellout here in Denver. They're satisfied so far. We're back in Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado, where the Broncos have a 7-0 lead. They scored on a 65-yard touchdown toss. Dallas behind Gary Hogaboom came back but fell short and lose to Detroit 26-21. They were down 26-0. We want to welcome those of you who have been watching that Dallas-Detroit game. Our understanding is that Hogaboom replaced Danny White in the 4th quarter of that contest. So the quarterback controversy is alive. And
it looms big in Dallas, doesn't it?
Cowboys go to 1-1. 1st down and 10. Vern Lundquist along with Terry Bradshaw here from Denver. James Wright comes left. Steve Watson out wide to the right side. Elway is 7 of 10 for 130 yards. Winder gets a block on Waymer. And it was Steve Watson who laid that block to allow Winder to get around the corner. Frank Wadlett, number 49, comes up to make the tackle. Pretty much a Denver domination in the first quarter, 187 yards, including a 42-yard run by Winder, a 30-yard catch by James Wright, and a 65-yard touchdown catch by Butch Johnson. Elway, 130 yards on 7 of 10 days so far. Hampson touchdown.
you can watch the development of a quarterback by watching how he anticipates in crucial situations. Now, Elway drops back, and he sees Kobach and the outside linebackers blitzing. He turns the ball loose before Sampson has ever broken his stride and turned outside, laid it out there perfect, and he laid it right in there. This is just an outstanding passing catch.
Rich Carlos missed an extra point last week that proved very critical in the game. Gets this one. That's the second catch for a touchdown this season for Clint Sampson. Took a jolt last year that many of us thought would knock him out of a career with the Broncos, and came back and now has 2 catches in 2 games. Coming up next Sunday, a CBS doubleheader. Many of you will see the St. Louis Cardinals take on the New York Giants, particularly those of you watching in the Rocky Mountain area. New Orleans goes back home next week to take on Tampa Bay, and Terry and I will be down in the Superdome for that game. And then what ought to be a dandy, the second game of the doubleheader. All of you will be seeing the 49ers as they visit Los Angeles to take on the Raiders, who are trying to rebound from that loss Thursday night at the hands of Kansas City. Think John Malkovich's bunch for real?
Well, I'll tell you what, they played awfully well, and they played away in New Orleans, which is not an easy place to play in, believe that or not. And then they played their old arch rival, the Raiders, and played them well. They've scored 80-something points already, and I definitely think that, you don't think they're back. I'll tell you the thing about Kansas City. They've always started slow and then finished strong. Now they seem to be starting strong, and I'm sure they're hoping they'll finish that way. I can't help but repeat myself, Vern, that pass that Elway threw was just a thing of beauty. We got wind conditions here, and to read the blitz and lead him outside was just a thing of beauty.
Wind holds Carlos's kick up. It's taken by Tyrone Anthony out of North Carolina. And he gets it out to the 22-yard line. I'm amazed at the problems that continue. Well, we got a fight back at the 47-yard line. Guido Merkins, number 19.
And Carlos.
Carlos.
A kicker. Can you believe this? A kicker got, look at him. He said, a kicker and Guido Merkins. I wonder what that was all about. Guido probably gave him a cheap, Carlos probably gave him a little cheap shot. What do you think, Vern?
No, I don't think so.
Probably kicked him with that bare foot.
Well, it's forgotten. The New Orleans pass defense has now given, the New Orleans defense, not the pass defense, but the New Orleans Saints have now given up 156 yards in the air. They gave up 395 last week. What's happened? 1st and 10, Saints. Wilson, the quarterback. Earl Campbell looks for it, doesn't get it. Brad Edelman couldn't contain his man, and Jim Ryan fought off Edelman's block and made the tackle for a loss.
Well, this time when they come out, you're going to see as Wilson turns around and gives the ball to Earl in the backfield, you're going to see 63, the left guard, Edelman, pulling outside and right in the center of your screen. Now, he kicks out on Ryan. Now, on Ryan, but what happens is that Earl goes outside. Earl should have cut inside that time. The hole was there.
2nd down, 13. Wilson is 2 out of 4 for 26 yards. He said after that disaster of a week ago, he felt a little better watching Joe Theismann Monday night.
Well, I guarantee you that helped a little, but not a lot.
2nd and 13, 14-0 Denver leads. Flag is down. Pass is overthrown for Jeff Groth on the far sideline. And the pass was thrown in the defensive secondary. There are 2 flags down, as a matter of fact. An accompanying flag is back at the 2-yard line.
We got one downfield. We got one in the backfield.
Illegal contact, number 52 defense. Holding, number 64 offense. Penalties offset. Replay the down. 2nd down.
Ken Woodard, who is starting for Tom Jackson. Jackson on injured reserve.
Dave LaFari, the left tackle, he's back this year with the Saints. You know, we said early in the broadcast, this is the first time in 2 years that the Saints have had their entire offensive starting line in the football game on the field at the same time. So if they've got problems today, it's only because these guys just haven't been together.
Wilson will try it again. 2nd and 13 from the 18. 13:49 to go in the half. 14-0 Denver leads. Gaijon in motion. Blitz. Wilson to Gaijon. Nice pass. 1st down at the 40.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks, when you blitz and you put these guys man for man and you put a running back on a linebacker, he should beat him. And if the quarterback has any time at all, it can get the ball to him. It is a big play. We're going to watch it again. Wilson sees the blitz, backs up, and there comes Gajan coming right across the field middle. He beats Ryan, number 50, and does a good job. Tony Lilly, number 22, comes in from his safety spot to make the tackle. But boy, when you blitz and you got these guys man for man on the back, you just lick your lips.
That's a gain of 22, first down for the Saints from the 40-yard line. Wilson now 3 out of 5 for 48 yards. Gajan goes in motion wide left. Whoops. Campbell goes back, falls on it. No, he doesn't. Denver's ball. Steve Busick makes the recovery after Campbell fails to pounce on the football.
Well, one of the simplest things in football is a quarterback-center exchange, and even a simpler one is when you have a great back who can fall on a football that's laying on the ground, misses that football trying to fall on it, give him a turnover after a big play. This is something the Saints just don't need. They don't need to continue making these types of errors. If they do, they're not going to win any football games, and I'm sure Bum Phillips is not pleased with what he's seeing.
That's an understatement. First and 10 from the 21. Elway already has 2 touchdown tosses. White in motion. Reverse. Vance Johnson. But the Saints do a fine job of containing the rookie burner.
Well, I'll tell you, you run reverses after you set it up. You run these sweeps or pitches, and if the linebackers from the backside are chasing, then you come back and you run reverses, take advantage of that, and make him stay at home. This time they ran the reverse after not setting up with the pitch. Therefore, Jackson is sitting right there and he makes the play. Really was not a well-designed play this early in the game.
Gained only 2 at second down and 8. Clint Sampson is wide to the left side. Watson is wide right. Johnson is momentarily on the bench. He has a touchdown catch. Right in motion. Blitz coming again. Elway in trouble. Manages to provide a one-hopper at the 20-yard line. Whitney Paul was all over it. And Whitney Paul is claiming he was in the grasp of.
We're going to watch it again. Whitney Paul, number 51, will come from the left side of your screen. There he is, folks. And he forces Elway, who does a good job of getting rid of the football. That's just a blitz from the blind side. And being a right-handed quarterback, if you send that backside linebacker, and that time no one picked up Whitney Paul. He was able to get in there and knock Elway down and force him to throw the football away.
And guess what? He won his argument. They have spotted the ball back at the 29-yard line. It's 3rd and 17. 4 wide receivers set for the first time now for the Broncos, and Elway calls timeout. 11 minutes and 47 seconds to go in the first half of play. The Broncos lead by 14.
And Brown. And by Radio Shack, the computer experts.
11:47 to go, first half. 3rd down, 17. This comes after the fumble recovery by Steve Busick and a 4 wide receiver set. 3 wide receivers now for the Broncos. 4-man rush by the Saints. Elway in trouble. And down at the 40. Bruce Clark, number 75, who had 10.5 sacks last year. That's his first of the game.
I tell you, the job that's done this time by Tony Ellett, the nose tackle, and Bruce Clark. See 99 in the middle of your screen. He gets past Bryan, splits a double team with Bishop. Now he comes back outside, and Wilkes is coming around, and Clark's coming around. All 3 of these guys did a good job, plus Jackson blitzing. So the entire front of the Saints that time did a good job of pressing Elway and forcing him into the sack.
That takes Denver out of field goal range. Chris Norman is on, but the Saints have not sent anybody back. Now, finally, Eric Martin comes hurrying on the field. Norman, nice high kick. Gets a New Orleans bounce. It'll come out to the 20. Word from the bench, by the way, is that Russell Gary, the strong safety of the Saints, has suffered a sprained left knee and in all likelihood will not be back in the lineup. So we'll probably see Terry Hogan in that spot. Phillips trying to find an answer.
Well, the problem you have now with the Saints secondary is the fact that Hogue has a back. He's had knee injuries, rib injuries. He's not 100%. And the other kid's Brett Maxey, number 39, who'll be coming in there in his stead later on. So they're really down to 5 backs now.
New Orleans Broncos trails 14-zip, 11-12 to go in the half. From the I formation, play action. Wilson to throw. Earl Campbell.
Boy, Earl's having a rough go here. He misses a key on a run earlier. He misses a fumble that could have given him given the Broncos a touchdown or a field goal. And now he drops a pass. So right now, this is a bad start for Earl Campbell. This is not the Earl Campbell I'm used to playing against, and certainly not used to watching.
Will we ever see the Earl Campbell again that you were used to playing against?
Well, I'll tell you, we'll just, that's to be seen out here on the field. You have to do it out here. The history, pass is pass. So, I believe the man can do it. I just don't know what the problem is today.
Second down, 10. Split backs. Campbell is on the bench. Wayne Wilson makes the grab. That'll be short of the first down at the 27-yard line. Brings up a third down and 3.
Number 63, Brad Edelman. Here's a guy that has had a knee. The other guard, Clark's had a foot injury, and these guys haven't been there. But Edelman's a guy that they need sorely in their offense. And he said, "Hey, coach, I want to start. I'm going to play this week." And they both, Clark and Edelman, they talked themselves into the game.
Starting to rain. That wasn't in the forecast. Third down, 2. Wayne Wilson doesn't get much. It'll be 4th down and 1.
Good job that time by Barney Chavis, number 79, their left end. Boy, did a good job. 61 Townsend, boy, they really jammed that baby up and stopped them. You got to force them to punt again.
Brian Hansen is on to kick. This will be his second. 14-0 with 10 minutes to go in the first half of play. Gerald Wilhite is back for the Broncos at the 26-yard line. That's a good one. Fair catch called by Wilhite. Makes the grab at 19. That's a 53-yard kick with a hang time of 4.5. And Wilhite might have hurt himself. Holding his knees. Not sure how that happened. Nonetheless, Denver does have the ball back with a 14-0 lead. If you wonder why Denver has a 14-0 lead, look at that graphic. They've averaged 10.1 yards on first down. New Orleans minus 0.4 of a yard on first down plays. Right in motion, flags are down. Sammy Weiner will keep the thing going, and he pops it for about 5.5 yards. Terry, you've always said that first down you set the tone for your offense.
Well, you hear this time and time again that you'd like to get 4 yards on first down. Here's the indication. Offside, Saints. 4 yards on first down, 4 yards or more on second down. Then you're in a third. You have an option on third down.
Offside, number 94, defense. First down.
So by getting four yards or more, then you allow yourself more use of your offense. When you don't, then you're forced into passing situations, then teams load up. You have the options, and in this case, 0.4 by the Saints, there's no option but to throw the football, and that would be exactly, I believe, what the Broncos would like to see them do.
Thus far in the game, Denver with 191 yards of total offense. First down and 5. They lead 14-0 with 9:17 to go in the first half. White in motion. Draw play. Winder starts right, comes back left, and picks up 1.
Good job that time by Bruce Clark, 75. Boy, he took on his. There's our man, number 60, Paul Howard, back in the game at right guard. Here's this guy missed 2 days of practice. Nobody knew where he was. He didn't call his wife. He didn't call the coaches, and they got burned. They honestly got worried about it.
Got very concerned, and the first day he was absent with personal problems, we understand, was his 35th birthday. They had cake here at practice. They wound up eating themselves.
Big man. He'd probably like to have a little of that cake.
Paul Howard is back in there now, going against Bruce Clark. Second down and 4. Elway on the half roll. Looks back to the left. Nobody's there. Settles for Clint Sampson as Jim Kovach had slipped trying to cover. There was a good job of Elway looking for James Wright, then going back to his second receiver.
Well, they sprint these guys. They sprint Elway out. It's kind of a jog lift. He goes to the right. They set up inside, give him plenty of protection, and allows him to throw back. We're going to see Sampson on Johnny Poe, 25. Now, see, Poe turns him loose. They're playing zone. He just turns him loose and settles down. Now, Poe comes back outside, and then when Elway comes around, Sampson finds a hole in the zone and settles down and makes a nice catch.
Elway has spread it around to 6 different receivers so far in the first half, and he's going to throw again. Screen pass. Winder to the 43-yard line.
Glenn Red, 58. Good job. You know, they say, how do you stop people from rushing the passer? 2 ways. You trap, number 1. Number 2, you throw these slow screens. Let them through and then throw the ball on. There's 58, Glenn Red. I asked Bum, I said, what kind of guy is this guy? He said, he's smart, but he's a backup guy. And he said, I said, well, he plays? He says, he's always on the bench with me, so I don't really know a whole lot about him myself. But he is a smart, tough, aggressive kid.
He's playing in the spot normally occupied by Dennis Dirt Winston.
Dirt Winston. He likes dirt. Dirt Winston.
Forget the Dennis.
That's right.
7:10 to go first half as the rain continues to come down. Forecasters missed this. Elway, blitz coming. Back to throw. Going deep, and he's got Watson. Flags are also down. Johnny Poe made the tackle. Check the flag. Bring it back. And it's going to be called, I think, on Clint Sampson, number 84, way away from the ball, and that will negate a 50-yard pass.
Pass interference, number 84.
Do you have Elway on this?
Still second down.
I'll tell you, there's number 44, Weimer. Now, here comes 84, Sampson, and he runs right through Weimer. Now, what people are booing, but what it is Weimer had established territory, and he has a right to that territory. And the reason you can say that is because actually 84 ran into the backside of it. He established that ground, and that's his turf, and Sampson has to stay away from him, and he didn't, and that's why they threw the flag. Most impressive thing about that was Elway getting rid of the football and took a unbelievable hit, Vern.
Second down and 14. A 50-yard gain is wiped out. That would have put Elway over 200 yards in the first half. Try it again. Man is open. Vance Johnson, it's overthrown at the New Orleans 47-yard line. And brings up a third down and 14.
You know, talking to the Saints players, they said, we believe we can confuse John. We believe we can mix up the coverage. Tony Ellett said, we don't think that he can read as well as some of the other established quarterbacks in the league. And they're mixing up cover 2 zone, 2 deep zones, blitzes. And this is a good example of making him move a little indecision, then forcing a football out of bounds that probably, had he read properly, would have been able to drop it in on the sideline and complete it.
I found it fascinating that John told you yesterday in his rookie season it got so rocky that he actually did not want to come out here and compete.
He said it was terrible. He said, I hated the idea of having to come out here.
4 wide receivers in for Denver. 4-man rush for New Orleans. Elway has to scramble. Does it pretty well, doesn't he? Watch Johnson. Another flag is down. He may have gone out of bounds and come back in.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're making it awfully exciting here. They're catching these balls 50 yards downfield.
Touching. Receiver was out of bounds. Penalty is loss of down at the previous spot.
Good job, Vern. Good job. I can't believe you saw that. All right, there's Butch. We're going to watch him. He's at the top of the now. You see Weimer bump Johnson. Bang, there's that right foot out of bounds second. Hey, he's 5 yards out of bounds. And no wonder he's open.
The fact that he was bumped by Weimer isn't a factor, is it?
No factor at all.
Well, I must fess up to you, Mr. Bradshaw, that I didn't see it. Dave Yaggy, our statistician, spotted that and tipped me off.
The thing that's impressive, though, is that Elway's getting outside, and big plays are happening outside the perimeter, outside, moving everyone around. The problem they have here is penalties. One by Sampson for pass interference, and this time where Johnson gets out of bounds and comes back in. 100 yards of pass completions wiped away by 2 penalties.
That was a 50-yard pass that was taken away to Watson, and you're close. That was 42.
And I'll tell you what, when these fans leave here today in Denver, we won't be reading in the papers about East-West offense. I guarantee you. And I'd like for Dan Reeves to tell me to my face that he didn't change a few things on account of what he read, because we've seen nothing but bombs away.
He got blistered. They can be harsh on you here. I've never seen a team.
I don't believe that.
So over-covered as the Broncos are. Here's the kick. What a dandy by Norman. Eric Martin waves a fair catch and takes it at the 22. You've got a newspaper war going on here between the Rocky Mountain News and the Post. They're competitive. 3 network affiliates, an independent station, and a whole lot of radio stations all covering this team. Timeout.
Be a war. The defending Super Bowl champion 49ers battle the 1984 world champion Raiders next Sunday on CBS Sports.
Bert Lundquist and Terry Bradshaw back at Mile High Stadium, where the Broncos have it all going their way. 14-0, 5:58. Could have been more. They had 100 yards in pass completions, wiped out on back-to-back penalties in their last series. Clouds are gathering here in Denver. Dave Wilson, the quarterback. Earl Campbell. He just seems to be running to me like a 30-year-old man in a 40-year-old body.
Well, I disagree with you there. I've played against Earl so many times. I know how he runs. He just looks like that. This is a great running back. And he played well last week until they were just forced to throw the football. I don't know what it is, but I believe Earl Campbell is all right, and I believe he's running as well as he can run. That may be what you said, though. It may be 30 and 40. I don't believe it, though.
Well, he has taken a pounding in his years in the league. Wayne Wilson comes in as an extra back, and he's split wide to the left. Gajan the setback. 2nd down and 7. 4-man rush, and they're stunning. Wilson in trouble. There comes another flag. Barney Chavis, who's been around here for 13 years, gets the sack.
Excuse me, Vern. That time, what the Denver did is they sent Dennison, number 55, the inside line, but they sent him on the outside and picked with Barney Chavis, number 79, who came inside and got the pressure that time on Wilson.
Holding call against the Saints.
Now they bring Busick out, they bring Dennison out and come in with two fresh backs. Tony Lilly, number 22.
Number 64, offense. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Dave LaFari.
Makes it 3rd down 11 from the 21 with 5:10 to go. LaFari out all but the first half of the first game last year. And it's just not going Bum Phillips' way. 3rd and 11 with Denver leading 14-0, 5:03 to go in the half. From the shotgun, Wilson so far 4 out of 7, 4-man rush. Carl Mecklenburg, 2nd sack of the day.
This was a guy that the Saints were concerned about, was Mecklenburg. You see him come on the outside on LaFari and just beats him, just flat out beats him, comes back, spins inside. Now I'm going to tell you, in defense of these offensive linemen, if those guys are covered downfield, if they're covered, you're going to see Wilson sacked a lot today because he can't stand back there. You got to get that football out of there, and people have to get open. They're not doing it.
Will Height waits for Brian Hansen's 3rd kick. It comes with 4:37 to go in the half. And this one is a bad kick. Will Height from the 49. Another flag is down. 2 of them, as a matter of fact. We have had a barrage of hankies here in the first half. Frank Wadlett makes the tackle.
You got a clip in on Jack Del Rio, number 50 of the Saints, I believe, Vern.
1-yard line. Markers on the play.
Let's see what they say here. They're talking it over. But Jack Del Rio came down the outside, number 50 for the Saints, and they came across, turned his back, and he hit him right.
Block above the waist. Number 69 and number 22 on the receiving team.
You got Tony Lilly of Denver.
Correction, 61. Foul is on 61.
Well, 61.
Andre Townsend.
I don't think they know who it's on. Anyway, it's a penalty against the Broncos.
Our score 14-0 with 4:29 to go. Atlanta leading. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I just started to just breathe it out there. Atlanta over San Francisco. How about that?
Well, I'll tell you, it's tough. Look at this. Minnesota over Tampa Bay.
break up the Vikings.
Green Bay 10 over the Giants 6. But I'll tell you what, boy, winning those Super Bowls back-to-back, I tell you, you go in that glory and do all those commercials, but those babies, when you play them the next year, they want some of your hide.
Yeah, nobody can speak to that better than you can.
I know. I'm missing some of my hide.
John Elway pumps once. Settles for the short man, Wilhite, at the 49-yard line of New Orleans. Jim Kovacs makes the tackle. It's James Wright, 87 instead of 47. And that'll bring up a 2nd down and 8.
I tell you, I really don't understand that pass route because Johnson was hooking on the outside and Wright was hooking on the inside, and they weren't 8 yards apart, and neither one of them were more than 5 yards deep. And John comes out and pumps to Johnson, 86, and then throws it to Wright, who was covered. Johnson was wide open. It seemed like a mix-up to me, but hey, maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're working on those pumps and hitting those short guys.
Pretty good day for Elway so far. He'll try it again. 3-man rush. Lots of time. Holding is going to be called. So this is all for experience. And it's incomplete at the end zone. Butch Johnson diving for the ball, and the fans down there want an interference call on Terry Hogue, but they don't get it.
I'll tell you what, that's a good showcase of a strong arm. You get outside like that. There it is.
Face mask instead of holding, huh?
You get outside and, you know, you got to think, well, John C., maybe he doesn't, but he gets outside and he's got a guy wide open. Boy, he cranked that baby 55 yards as hard as he could throw it.
Sound a little envious.
No, well, you know, I got a bad elbow right now, Vern.
I've seen you warming up.
Correction, illegal use of the hands, 73 offense.
I tell you what, to be young like that and have an arm like that, it is fun to use it. I got to admit, when I was in situations that I ever felt comfortable, I didn't mind cranking that baby loose and, you know, kind of letting it smoke a little.
Dan Reeves will get angry on the sideline, and he's been talking to the officials for most of the first half.
I like the ties he's wearing. What, you know, here's a guy that's wearing
illegal use of the hands, number 70, offense, still 2nd down.
If he starts wearing those funny-looking hats like Landry wears, I'm going to write him a letter.
18 yards to go.
Because he has cowboy boots on. He had them on yesterday. Today he's got those penny loafers on. That new contract's had an effect on it. I can see it already.
Dave Stoddard is guilty of the call. Dan Reeves signed an extension of his contract with owner Pat Boland earlier this week, so his contract now runs through 1989. And he last week in Los Angeles had the coat to go with the tie and shirt. Elway back to throw, 4-man rush.
Oh! That's the old classic example of, I'm going to run before I catch this.
Clarence Kay.
Clarence Kay, I asked Reeves, I said, what about Clarence Kay out of Georgia? I said, you never throw to him. He said, we really like him. He's got good hands. He's coming around. But they throw the football to him. He drops it. He doesn't get that many chances, Vern, and I'm sure he would like to have held on so Elway would have had some confidence.
Now, when that happens and you've got a reputation for not having great hands, would you be tempted not to go back to him?
Oh, I wouldn't have thrown to him then. Even though he was wide open. No, you go back to him. He's got, you know, they like him so much, you got to throw the football to him.
3rd down, 18. Stunts by the New Orleans Saints. Flag is down. Here we go again. Wide open. Vance Johnson. Keep in mind, there's a flag way back at the 45.
I'll tell you what, if this is against the Broncos, Elway, I don't know what's going to happen, but this is about 130 or 40 yards in pass penalties already, yardage given up. And it's going, oh!
Personal foul, New Orleans this time.
You think they heard me?
Unnecessary roughness, going to the head, number 94, defense.
Oh, Wilkes.
Enforced from the end of the run.
Well,
1st down.
There's Bum calling the guy over, wanting him to explain, what do you mean going to the head? But, you know, when it rains, it pours, and these guys are doing all they can do. Let's watch it again. There's Elway going outside. Now Elway's outside. He passes up one, he turns around and goes back the other way, and there's Vance Johnson, number 82, their rookie, who they like. They say this guy is a big play receiver. Great speed. The speed they've always lacked in their receiving corps they have in Johnson.
That is a 34-yard pass play, which will stand.
And Wilkes went to the head. That's what they're saying.
3:22 to go in the first half. 14-0 Denver. And they're threatening again. 3 penalties on New Orleans, 5 on Denver so far. Elway is 12 out of 18 for 208 yards in the first half. Sammy Winder for the 10. Glenn Red and Whitney Paul were there, along with Terry Hogue, number 24.
That's one of those plays where you're expecting blitz and gaps, and you come inside with your big running back. But if I'm quarterback and you're calling my plays and I'm throwing the football as well as they're throwing it today, I play action and I throw that baby in the end zone. I don't fool around with the run. I'm going in the end zone.
Dan Reeves told you that you would be amazed at the progress Elway has made in 1 year. Have you seen it?
Well, he's got 2 TDs on the board, and his team's up, and he's playing well. So, Watlick faking a blitz. Now it comes up. Now Elway's outside.
It's behind Gene Lang, number 33.
Look, Elway can't believe it. He can't believe it. Now, if he can throw it hard, he can complete them. But this is the thing that's so hard for a young quarterback with a great arm. Look at him. I can't believe I did that. He just tried to lay that easy one in there. And quite honestly, that's not his style. We're going to see it again. Now, John gets outside now. He's got his man. Watch this. Easy. There you go, right behind you. Come on. Gene Lang, number 33, says, gee whiz, John, sling it in there, baby.
Looked a little like a shot put.
That's right.
There's a report that many of his receivers wear the Elway cross on their chest, where he has drilled them with a football.
I believe you.
3rd and 7, 14. Gene Lang.
It's a classic. You're going to see they're running all kinds of games. There's man coverage, blitz, comes back. Once again, it's man-for-man coverage. He beats 58 Red, and Watlick comes up number 49 to make the tackle, and Lang runs right through and makes a touchdown. Boy, this is just great job by Lang and Elway.
And if there is an Elway cross, there is also now an Elway sandwich. He really got scissored after he let go of the ball. Carlos's kick is good. John Elway is 13 of 20 for 218 yards and 3 touchdowns. 6 for Elway to find Gene Lang for a 10-yard touchdown toss. 51 yards in 6 plays, and it is an all Denver onslaught so far. Rich Carlos getting set to kick off. Crowd is on their feet. And Dan Reeves momentarily quiet. Tyrone Anthony and Eric Martin deep to return. Now we're set to go. That's short. Tyrone Anthony at the 8. Brings it out near the 37-yard line. Tackle is made by Gene Lang, who just had the touchdown toss. 27-yard return. Coming up at halftime, Brent Nerve with scores and highlights of other games, and there are a lot of games still in progress. Last report, Atlanta had a 10-0 lead over San Francisco in a shocker out in the Bay Area. Our score is 21-0. Brent Nerve will be along with all of the highlights and the scores at halftime. 2:22 to go. Now you're down 21-0, and you're totally out of your game plan, I would think.
Well, yeah, the Saints have no choice, and that's something they didn't want. They've got to put the football in the air, and they've got to get it in the end zone.
So the first thing they do is give it to guys on. It's a great play.
Yeah, right after you run this draw, now you throw the football. No, they have got to get a touchdown on the board, because right now we're looking at last week's game all over Kansas City. It's just a classic example of the Broncos expecting them to pass, and they run the draw. Gajan, good job of going outside. Foley misses a tackle. Then right over top, Steve Busick, 58, makes the tackle.
Tried to get another play off before the 2-minute warning, but they did not do it. And so timeout has been called for the 2-minute warning.
You know, the best medicine in the world right now for the Saints is to get touchdowns.
Just one
right now. It's 21-7. We go in and we regroup, we hold them, we score on their first drive. So it's important right now to get a touchdown.
Bert Lundquist and Terry Bradshaw here watching a John Elway show so far. I know that you were very impressed with him a year ago. I want to go back and talk about what you've seen that he's brought to this team so far this year.
Well, by his own admission, his first year, he said, I hated to even go out there. And he said, I was just hoping for completions, not theory of winning and moving the football. He said, now I'm having fun. I look forward to going out there. I'm confident again, and I believe I'm going to play well. Back then, he didn't believe he was going to play well, so he didn't want to play.
Terry, you caught a lot of flack from the media, not only in Pittsburgh, but around the country early in your career. Can you equate with what John Elway is going through now?
Oh, sure. You know, I was the first player taken. He was the first player taken. And when that happens, the fans say, well, here's the guy that's going to do it all by himself. I was naive enough to believe that. I would have thought he wasn't. And I think Dan Reeves may have fallen into that old mold of getting caught up with his arm and everything and forgetting about it. Does take time to develop a young quarterback. I think he was rushed in too soon. That hurt him. But thank goodness he overcame those mental scars of his rookie season and came back and played well last year. And now he's continuing to play well this year.
One more factor along those lines. Here's Marino taken after Elway, has the great season last year. If you're John Elway, do you look at what Marino's doing and let that bother you?
You bet.
I thought so.
You bet. You think he doesn't know that Marino has thrown for 5,052 touchdowns or whatever? You bet he knows it. And he, by his own admission again, you know, he expects to play well and he wants to be good. And that's important.
Right now, it's important for the New Orleans Saints to get on the board somehow. Lights have come on here in Denver as the clouds continue to thicken. Blitz is coming. Dave Wilson gets an early tip-off. A flag is down again. There's a scoop. Wilson's going deep for Groth, and Harden's back there. Touchdown! Jeff Groth. He does not have great speed, but he's got some moves. And he beats Mike Harden, but there are 2 flags down. Offside. Denver declined. Saints are back on the board.
Best medicine in the world is a touchdown. I'll tell you what else. This is a big bear off of Wilson's back. Boy, 2 for 22. Nothing happened right last year. Now he comes in. He sees the blitz. 61 Townsend forcing him out of the pocket. He gets outside, does a good job, picks up Groth downfield, throwing on the run, and then 86 Groth makes just a super catch extended, keeps his feet in bounds, and there you got it, folks. 21, and if Anderson makes this, we got a 21-7 game, and we got a game.
Jeff Groth lost his starting spot this year. Eugene Goodlow and Eric Martin are the starters. Tyrone Young is on the injured reserve list. High in the sky. And here's Morton. It's a high snap. And the kick is no good. I'm not so sure that was Anderson's fault. Guido Merkins tried to get the snap, the hold down. But the kick is unsuccessful.
Now, you know, you have something good happen to you, and you end it on something bad by missing an extra point. It was important they make that point.
1:52 to go in the first half. Saints are on the board, but they missed the extra point, and they now trail by 15. 1:52 remaining in the first half of play. Morton Anderson, who hooked that extra point attempt to the right side, kicks it off and gets it deep. Gene Lang will let that one go on through the end zone. Watch the high snap, but you don't think it really affected the kick?
No, because it's a timing thing. There's a snap. His rhythm for kicking is the same. He just takes his 2 steps and swings through. He just hooks the football. The rhythm and everything was the same. He didn't have to hesitate or stop or wait. A good job that time by Merkins of getting the ball down, and he just hooked it.
Well, he's from Denmark, and he can speak 6 languages, so I guess he can.
He still hooked it, though. I don't know how you do that 6 languages, but he hooked it.
No, I'm just going to say he can cuss in 6 languages.
Well, you know, maybe he's not. Maybe he won't cuss. Maybe he's not a cuss. Not like some people I know. I'm not going to mention any names.
Okay, 1:52 to go in the first half of play. John Elway, 218 yards and 3 TDs. Will go with 4 wide receivers on 1st and 10. Full-man rush for the Saints. A draw play. Gerald Wilhite to the 25, picks up 5 yards. Tony Elliott, the nose guard, makes the tackle. And then gets up with some anger.
While these guys are out there fighting and arguing over this and that, the time is ticking off the clock. So they started arguing at about 1:46. It's 1:32. And I don't know, maybe Denver's saying, well, we don't need any more touchdowns. We've got 21 points. But they've wasted right now about 18, 20 seconds just messing around on the football field. Look like they don't really want to score, doesn't it?
Not in any particular hurry right now. Blitz Kovac is coming. Another flag down. Stop the presses on that one. Elway just, well, he hit a member of the University of Texas at El Paso band.
You know, excuse me, Vern, yesterday I talked to John, and he said that when they were backed up in situations like this, he would have liked for some time for Dan Reeves to let them just crank it out. Throw one, force one down the middle, lay it up in the air. Well, they've done that today. Now they come back and they run the football, waste a little time.
Right of the line. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
But he said, you know, there are times when I really want to just get aggressive, just really lay it in there, throw in the double coverage, force things. And he said, I believe that makes the defense respect me, knowing that they are, even though they may have been covered, I'm going to throw the football anyway.
3rd down 5 now, 21-6. Denver leading New Orleans. Saints dropped their opener last week. They have never in the history of the franchise had a winning record. 8-8 and 83 is the best. The Broncos, of course, 13-3 last year before losing to Pittsburgh unexpectedly in the playoffs. 3rd and 5. From the outside, here comes Whitney Paul. That one is on a rope. 1st down at the 38-yard line. Butch Johnson. And he beat Dave Waymer. Now the Broncos call timeout. They'll have 2 left.
I'll tell you, John Elway's taking a pretty good beating. Every time he's cranked up a lot of these passes, someone's been blasting him, and he's limping a little bit there, but I'll tell you, he's doing a good job. You know, Vern, one of the hardest things for a young quarterback is to work the 2-minute offense. It takes a long time to learn how to move the football field in 2 minutes. It's really, folks, it's not something you just drop back and just throw. It's a design. It's a brand new offense, and you have to know how to use it and where to attack, and it takes a while to do that.
One of the lingering questions around the National Football League, and I hear it over and over again, is how come so many teams have the capacity to score in that 2-minute offense? If they can do it in the 2 minutes, why don't they have the same kind of scheme early?
All right, the reason for that is because teams normally play them a little bit looser, giving up yardage but not giving up touchdowns. They'll let you throw and make completions. You know, they loosen up and they match up. If you go in on 2nd down and run this 2-minute offense, they'll bring in prevent zones, and then they'll make combos. But what they're trying to do now is bend a little bit, but do not give the big yardage. Don't give up the big yardage. And that's the point behind the 2-minute offense and the defense. Now, you can double everybody. You can make it hard to complete them, but most of the time they just play loose, play soft, and force the quarterback to hit little short things, try to keep everything up front and in front of the linebackers. I never liked running the 2-minute offense. I don't mind saying that.
Is that right?
I never did like it. That's why I always wanted to have a big lead so I wouldn't have to run it.
1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. 54 seconds to go in the half. 21-6. Denver leads. 4-man rush again. Elway. That is incomplete at the 47-yard line. By the way, we want to pass on our best wishes to a member of the New Orleans Saints family. Dave Waymer cornered us at practice yesterday, and he said, do us a favor. Jackie Oubre, the wife of one of our offensive linemen, Louis Oubre, underwent very serious surgery in a New Orleans hospital last week. There's Dave Waymer. Louis Oubre, her husband, is on injured reserve. And he said, just tell Jackie that we're all thinking about her and wish her well. And we're doing the same. 49 seconds to go in the first half. 21-6. Denver on top. 2nd down 10. Screen pass. This time it gets messed up for a loss to the 35. Gerald Wilhite runs into Bruce Clark.
I tell you, Clark did a great job then. He's fighting, trying to get back there and put pressure on Elway, and the tackle actually gave and let himself right into the back, and it was a gift to Bruce Clark, who just wrapped his hands around him and pulled him down.
Now the Saints have called timeout. You know, Dan Reeves brought an offense up here. He was the offensive coordinator for Tom Landry down in Dallas. They talk about the multiple offense that Dallas uses. This terminology can get confusing for a lot of fans trying to understand football.
Well, one thing about terminology is that it's different, and this is what a quarterback would call Denver offense. Is Elway would say, I right, rover rotation, fire pass, toss 49, fullback lead, wide delay. That is, folks, one play, and you wonder why it takes so long for quarterbacks to learn this game. In the Steeler formation, that same play for us would have been I right, motion crack back, 129 tight end delay.
Okay, take the same play. What would it be for New Orleans now? And this is the same play we're talking about. You've got Denver, I right, rover rotation, fire pass, toss 49, fullback lead, wide delay. Then you've got to delay a game penalty, I think. But here's the New Orleans offense.
Now, New Orleans says red, I right, fly, fake toss, 529, wide delay.
I now understand why guys don't want to get traded.
Sure. See, the red is the formation, and then I right is the back formation, and then the rest of it tells everybody what to do. You know, the fly means all the way across.
What is the play, by the way?
529, 500 is play action series. 5 meaning play action, 29 is the 29 play. So they fake the 29 play, keep it. Wide delay is the tight end running a delay route. Simple.
And of course, folks, it's all a game of blocking and tackling.
That's what they say, Vern.
3rd and 14. First down. Vance Johnson can scoot.
Now, this is the thing that they had been looking for so many years in Denver, was a big play man, a wide receiver with that burner speed. We're going to see a good job this time of Elway dropping back, reading the coverage. He's going to get some pressure. He's going to step up inside of everyone. Now he's going to turn around and spot 82 Jan. Look at John. Now look at that knuckleball. Those are little soft knuckleball. Now here's the speed. This is what they're talking about. 82 just outruns 24 Terry Ho, and now we're looking at this. We're in good shot for a field goal. Now here's Elway, gets rid of it. Whitney Paul, 51, finishes him off.
That's a 30-yard gain for John Elway. Could have been a late hit, one would think.
We got 17 seconds. We get 10, 15 yards, field goal range.
Rain is really coming down. Johnson wind up left side. Across the middle to the tight end, James Wright, the H-back. That's down to the 26-yard line. Tackle made by Kovach and Glenn Red. 8 seconds to go. Timeout called.
You had that play.
And now let's see if, with a 2nd down and 1 and 8 seconds to go, Denver wants to try one more play, or if they'll give Rich Carlos a long-range shot. Elway will talk it over with Dan Reeves.
That was the old hot route that time. What they call a hot route, folks, is a blitz control between the tight ends and the quarterbacks. When the linebackers disappeared from where the tight end 87 was going, he just turned around, and John Elway saw it, and he just released the football. They pick up 10 or 12 yards, puts them in field goal range now, or a good shot at it anyway. I tell you, the Broncos look good coming off last week's game. They look good, and if you don't think that teams don't watch what other teams do against a team, what Kansas City did to the secondary of the Saints last week, the Broncos picked up on it and attacked similar zones and everything. They've come out throwing the football and thrown it very well.
Rich Carlos waiting patiently for the timeout to be completed.
You know, it's funny. I used to watch film, and I'd see a game, and I'd say, boy, look at it, threw 400 yards. I'd go in that same game, couldn't do anything. You'd wonder, how could things change so quickly in 6 days?
The wind is not really in Carlos's face. It's swirling down at that end. Might even be a little bit behind him. The hold will be at the 34-yard line. It's a 44-yard kick for Carlos. Plenty of distance. Got it. Four seconds remain in the first half. And Denver has increased its lead now to 18 points, 24-6. I think he knew it right along.
Well, Wright did. Carlos is one of those guys that, boy, he's had great moments here, and he's had some moments which, you know, like most kickers, they don't get that many opportunities to be a part of the football team. The only way they feel a part is to get opportunities to make field goals, to win games with field goals and extra points, and other than that, they don't do anything. So this guy, you can understand why the jubilation. 24-6, he gets a chance to contribute to the team, and hey, it feels good.
I always enjoy watching practice where the kickers are off by themselves.
They feel like they don't have any friends.
Absolutely.
like there's the Broncos, and then there's these guys. We got them around.
Squib kick. Scramble at the 42. Time is out. So it's irrelevant as to which team recovered the kick. We have reached the end of the first half here at Mile High Stadium in Denver. A lot of folks have gone underneath the stands. Denver leads 24-6. We'll kick off. Tyrone Anthony takes the short kick at the 12. It comes to the right side. He's going to be nailed at the 15. Ricky Henley. Someday he's going to be a horse for this football team.
Well, the one thing that Dan Reeves said was, he said our defense is as complicated as our offense, and that's the reason he has not been playing that much. It's going to take him a little more time to learn how their system goes.
Asked Dan Reeves yesterday how complicated Joe Collier's defense was. He said about twice as complicated as my supposedly complicated offense. Dave Wilson, 5 of 8 for 95 in the first half. Handoff up the middle to Earl Campbell, and he's out to the 20-yard line. Campbell now with his 9th carry of the ball game. Had 11 for 47 last year. 3 times most valuable player, 78, 79, and 80 during the glory years of the Houston Oilers. Controversial acquisition last year when he joined George Rogers with the New Orleans Saints. And, of course, Rogers gets traded to Washington where he's playing behind John Riggins. 2nd down, 6. Oki Gajan gets the carry this time and squirts out across the 20 near the 23.